Hello entrepreneurs, welcome back to the Entrepreneurship Channel, the channel where future business leaders come to get inspired. Today I'm a bit excited because we're going to be discussing the life of one of my favorite billionaires, Mark Cuban. So Mark Cuban is an American businessman, author and TV personality. Mark Cuban was born on July 31st, 1958 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. After finishing college, he did a sales job where he got fired and then he started his first company called Microsolutions. Microsolutions was sold to CompuServe for $6 million, and then Mark Cuban started another internet business called Broadcast.com. Broadcast.com was sold to Yahoo for $6 billion in 1999, and this deal made Mark Cuban a billionaire. Now Mark Cuban has diversified his wealth, he's a venture capitalist, and he's also the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, a basketball team. So here are 6 of Mark Cuban's business rules. Rule number 1, reduce stress.
Being an entrepreneur is about being a problem solver, right? What is selling? Selling is not convincing. Selling is helping. As tech entrepreneurs here, if you're going to a customer, whether it's a consumer or you're in B2B, either you're making your customer's life easier, either you're reducing your stress, or you're making it harder and you're increasing their stress. I mean, over the years, I think some of the things I've come to learn, particularly dealing with some of these Shark Tank companies, is one of the greatest skill sets that an entrepreneur, employee, salesperson can have is reducing stress. If you find that when you go to work, stress increases the minute you walk in the door, you've got a problem. If you have an employee and the minute they walk in the door, you have a problem and they have a problem. And what I've found is the best companies, the best employees that I have, the best investments that I have are the people who reduce stress, because those are the people we don't want to give up. They may not, they don't make the most noise, they don't always get the biggest paychecks, they don't always close the biggest deals, but when there's problems that need to be solved, they're already working on them before you're even aware of them. Those are the people that we love, and those are the things, reducing stress. If you set in your mind goals as an entrepreneur for your company, 1, keeping your, selling and keeping your customers very happy. 2, staying ahead of the curve with your competitors. And 3, reducing stress of everybody around you, all your stakeholders, you're gonna be successful. Because if you think about all your personal experiences, would you rather do business with somebody who creates stress, or do you want to do business with the person who reduces stress? It's an easy answer, but you'd be amazed at how many people don't follow through in that.
Rule number 2, know what your product is.
When I started with the NBA, they thought their product was basketball. And this applies to entrepreneurs, very much so. You got to know what your product is. Microsolutions, my product was profitability, using technology to generate profitability. At Broadcast.com, it was our ability to make the world smaller. Even though we broadcast radio stations, those were proof of concepts so that corporations could do, Intel would pay us hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars so that they could stream their product introductions in 5 languages around the world, things they weren't able to do prior to that. So we made the world smaller. With the Mavs, we didn't sell basketball. We sold fun. We sold experiences, and I would go to the NBA owners' meetings, and I'd say, okay, what was the score of your last game? Do you remember this jump shot from your last game? And like, no. And then I'd say, okay, do you remember the first game you went to with your mom or your dad? Do you remember the first game you took your son or your daughter, your niece or your nephew to? That game you went to with a girlfriend or your wife or your buddies? Oh yeah, that's what we sell. We sell experiences, and those experiences have to be affordable, and those experiences have to be made special. And so, I brought in music, because what I learned early on was when a parent brought their 10-year-old or 8-year-old, that 8-year-old is looking like this, whenever there's not action going on. And so I had to keep them engaged. And all these things were completely foreign to the NBA. And they just thought I was an idiot. But, as I've learned over the years, that every time someone thinks I'm an idiot, I'm good.
Rule number 3, learn how to sell.
I'm gonna give you Mark Cuban rule number 1. And whenever you forget this rule, you're already out of business. In every business, sales cures all. Has anybody ever heard of a business that had 0 sales that was successful? Doesn't happen. Yet, a lot of people start their business thinking, I have a great idea. I'm gonna do this. This is amazing. I'm gonna go raise money, I just sold this idea. And then it comes back and it's like, okay, you gotta sell that product or you gotta sell that service. That's the first and main key to a successful business. When you're getting ready to start, you have to answer that question.
Rule number 4, learn from history.
One of the things that companies do or startups do, they come up with an idea, they'll Google it, and if they don't see it in the first 2 pages, they think it's original. You got to go back, right? Because over the past 15 years, there's so many different businesses that have tried and failed. You have to go back and find those and learn from those. So you've got to understand all the implications and you have to learn from history. And so the best advice I can give you on a video before talking to you or emailing with you is that you've got to find out the history of people who have tried your idea, because there's a 99.99999% chance that your idea has been tried before. That's not a good reason not to start it, because you might be able to outperform them, but you better learn from the history of your idea, because you know what they say about people who don't learn from history.
Rule number 5, be brutally honest with yourself.
One of the big things that all startups do is they lie to themselves over and over and over. Mine's faster, mine's cheaper, mine's better, mine's this, mine's that. No, it's not. And the reason it's not is because whoever it is you're competing with, it's not like they're ignoring you. It's not like, oh my goodness, this guy just started on Shopify in the startup competition. He's doing $1 million this year. Woe is me, I might as well close up the doors. What are they doing? I'm gonna copy what they're doing. And now you've got to stay ahead. And so, you know, you've got to be very careful as an entrepreneur to be brutally honest with yourself. And those are some of the things that you'll hear from me as a mentor, that, you know what you know what you don't know, but you've got to know your business better than anybody.
Rule number 6, don't make excuses.
Just to go after it. I mean, the thing about being an entrepreneur is it's just all to you. You know, a lot of people like to make excuses. I don't have connections, I don't have money, I don't have this, but, you know, if you find something that you like to do or love to do, be great at it and see if you can turn it into a business. In worst case, you're going to have fun doing what it is you love to do. In best case, you can turn it into a business. I'm just not big on excuses. I just think if everybody has that opportunity to go for it, they just got to do it.
Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you want to join our learning community, go hit the subscribe button down below. If you learned something new from this video, go hit the like button. And as always, comment your favorite quote from Mark Cuban.